Jorma, I gotta ask you, how do they prepare for outbreaks like what we're expecting tonight?
Well, it's a pretty hectic process for men and women here at the National Weather Service. Many got here bright and early to first analyze the atmosphere to basically figure out what might happen, the what, when, and where. And then that information is shared with local media and local emergency managers so they know what's going on to make decisions on their own part. And it's done through a hazardous weather conference call. They had one earlier. There may be a few during the day, like something like a day like today. And volunteer weather spotters are a huge help as well, helping these men and women make decisions to make sure people in this area are ready and prepared.
We're in constant contact through chat windows, telephone, radio contact, and we do this all as a team, and we're taking all their information and digesting that in the warning process and trying to decipher whether or not we need to issue a warning for their particular area.
This agency is responsible for 28 counties in and around Wichita, and as for those weather spotters, on a day like today, there could be hundreds of them out there making sure everyone inside this building knows what's going on. Mike?
So, Jorma, how do they keep track of where everybody is and what they're seeing?
It was a pretty interesting thing to see inside with those weather spotters. They have some pretty amazing software. I saw one computer screen that looked like a weather radar, like you just were talking about, but as they kind of scrolled with their mouse, there are these little points on there that kind of show where these weather spotters are, and when they kind of put that little icon on top of it, it showed who it was, their phone number, their information, so if they wanted to call them, they could. And it was kind of an interesting situation to not only have them know who's out there, but those weather spotters themselves know who to call as well. It's pretty cool.
Jorma, one other quick question. When they know that severe weather events like tonight are going to happen, do they ramp up? Are there more employees there than normal?
Good question. I think the normal amount of employees are here for a weather day like today. When we were inside, as you saw in that video, I'd have to say there was between 8 and 12 people inside, all working hard. So I think pretty much everyone on staff is in at least at one point during a day like today.
All right, just at the National Weather Service, they're keeping a very watchful eye on storms, I'm sure, Jordan, because we've got a pretty good outbreak going on across the plains. Tell us just how the National Weather Service preps for events like this.
Yeah, it's been a pretty hectic process for these men and women here at the National Weather Service. Many of them got here bright and early to first analyze the atmosphere to figure things out, basically the what, when, and where, and then they share that information with local media and local emergency managers. They do that through what is known as a weather hazardous conference call. Of course, that environment of communication continues throughout the day, whether it be through phone, computer, what have you. And volunteer weather spotters are a huge deal as well, helping these men and women make decisions. Here's what goes into issuing a tornado warning.
We're looking at three things. We're looking at the atmosphere. Is the atmosphere right for tornado formation, which of course today is one of those days. Then we're looking at the radar signatures, looking at the radar and looking at different products off of our 88D to see if we have the rotation, we have a mid-level rotation, and maybe lowering, things like that. Then also too, part of the whole three is the spotter network too. We have people out in the field that are actually watching the storms that we can actually call and see if maybe there's something going on underneath the storm that we can't see.
From the National Weather Service in Wichita, Kansas. And Jorma, I can bet it's probably been a pretty active and busy night there.
Very busy, and it's gotten a lot busier within the last hour or so. I just got back from inside, talked with Brad Ketchum. He's the lead meteorologist here. He said within just the past hour, numerous reports of tornadoes. No confirmed damage as of yet, but a couple weather spotters called in and said that they saw a tornado touch down near the towns of Hutchinson and Nickerson. Those two towns are in Reno County, which is northwest of here. And now that storm is getting into Rice County. And so, yeah, definitely things have gotten a lot more active within the past hour or so. And a lot of these men and women have been here all day. Many of them got up bright and early to first analyze the atmosphere, to figure things out, basically the what, when, and where. And they've been in contact with local media and also local emergency managers, so they know and are kept abreast of exactly what has been going on. As I mentioned earlier, they've been working with a lot of weather spotters as well. They got more than 100 out checking out things and notifying them whenever they think something is important enough to tell them about. And these guys tell me it's really them that help them make decisions to keep people in and around Wichita ready and prepared.
It covers just the Wichita area in Kansas. It has a pretty large coverage area, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're responsible for 28 counties in and around Wichita, and they're hard at work right now. In fact, the activity inside these doors really sped up within the past hour or so. In fact, north and northwest of here is really where all these storms are firing. Numerous reports of tornadoes. Now, nothing confirmed officially, but a couple of weather spotters said that they saw a tornado touch down near Hutchinson and Nickerson. Again, that's northwest of Wichita in Reno County, and they're saying that those storms and all that activity has now transferred into Rice County. And so these guys and gals inside are tracking this, making sure everyone is ready to go and prepared, which really coming inside to try to figure out what they do during a normal day. They've been in contact with not only those spotters, but with local media, also local emergency managers to make sure everyone is up to date on what is going on. They have some pretty amazing software in here, and talking with Brad Ketchum, the lead meteorologist, he says it's very important that people know what to do.
You want to anticipate so you're not reacting, especially when you go into a severe weather mode. You don't want to be reacting to the storms. You want to know what they're going to do before they actually happen, or have an idea so you know what kind of a warning to put out, either severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning.
More information from those who are on the ground, so pretty cool stuff to see.
Yeah, and they're certainly important to the big weather picture, no question about that. Thanks a lot, Jorma, tonight.
Jorma Duran is joining us live from the National Weather Service office in Wichita, Kansas. And Jorma, last hour you told us that things were getting pretty busy at the office there. Now, how are things right now?
Well, they've leveled off a little bit, but that does not mean the men and women inside here aren't really active on making sure they're up to date and keeping the people in and around Wichita up to date. As we mentioned earlier, there were numerous reports of tornadoes, no confirmed damage as of right now, and a storm spotter said he saw a tornado touch down near Hutchinson and Nickerson, which is in Reno County, northwest from here, and again, no confirmed damage from that. And we're thinking that it's in Rice County. By the next time I'm talking to you, it may be out of Rice County. I'll keep you up to date, but going back to those storm spotters, they've been calling and keeping these guys up to date, and I can't tell you that these guys are a big help, and they get a lot of information from these men and women.
They're looking at the clouds because we train them every single year on what to look for in the clouds, so they're very knowledgeable, as are the chasers. They have access to our radio frequencies, also the telephone number, and when they see something that they think we need to know, they definitely call us, and we digest that in that warning decision process.